this now. This is our song. Terrible, 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 terrible.
Good afternoon, Blades. It's Statman here as Paul Heckingbottom took his side to the new den Millwall. Millwall in a decent run of form themselves, and the Blades buoyed after that wonderful last gasp winner against Blackburn in midweek. Against the wall win following the dismissal of Charlie Goode. Charlie Goode's red card meant a suspension, and it was Kai Gordon who got the nod at centre-back in place of Charlie. Perhaps a surprise goal-scoring hero Ben Davies wasn't playing, but looking formation-wise, Kai's certainly a guy who can come in and step in and do well. Changes in the midfield to freshen it up as well. Conor Hourihane came in, Sander Berg given a rest. Ollie McBurney came in, probably replacing John Fleck. And Iliman Ndiaye was recalled to the side with Morgan Gibbs-White, who looked a little bit leggy late on in midweek, given a rest. As expected, away from home, it has many first halves have been this season for Sheffield United. Devoid of goals. We seem to have had, I don't know, is it 16, 17 0-0 draws at the break this season? And this was to be no different, I'm afraid. Couple of shots from the Blades. McBurney with a shot early on, but nothing really much to report from either side going forward. Just before the break, Iliman Ndiaye raising his hands. It's just silly. Don't give the referee opportunities, but he raised his hand and got himself a yellow card. Half time, there's not much action to report. It was pretty stale. It was pretty average. Hopefully, the Blades will go on as they've done in the second half many times this season. But half time at the den, it's Blades 0, Millwall 0. And I'm going to transfer you over to Hal, who is in the upper tier, cheering the Blades on. He's gone to the game by train, because if you hadn't heard, he's a man of the people. Over to you, Hal.
We shouldn't be playing this now. This is our song. Terrible, 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 terrible. You always knew that was the second half that was going to be decided by one goal. It always looked like it was going to be a set piece. Really disappointed to lose it in that way. Right about the hour mark. Who else? Jake Cooper. He always seems to score against the Blades. Never really looked like scoring. Not a lot to say. Apart from Morgan Gibbs-White was quite lively when he came on. Very disappointing day all round.
So, just looking at player ratings for today's quite disappointing defeat away at Millwall. Fotheringham in goal, I've gone for a 5. Thought he was steady. He had one little wobble on a deflected long shot, and there's just nothing he can do about the goal. In front of him, Gordon, I think I've gone for a 5. I think he will look back on today with a lot of pride, making his league debut for United, and he certainly didn't look out of place in that back line. Next to him, Egan, I've gone for a 4. Thought he had quite a presentable chance in the first half, and can he be stronger on their goal? He's fouled, isn't he? But maybe. Norrington Davis next to him, I've gone for a 5. I thought if we were going to create a chance today, it was coming from his long throws, and he does have one of our only shots on target, albeit it was a cross. In front of those, Baldock, I've gone for a 4. Just think going forwards, he doesn't quite offer enough in games like today, and I think once they figure out his all right foot, they find him quite easy to defend against. On the other side, Norrington Davis, I've also gone for a 4. Just don't think, again, he offered enough going forwards. And I think defensively, he does give away that free kick by getting himself in a little bit of a mess, which then leads to their goal. In the midfield, Hourihane, I've gone for a 3. Just don't think he helped us control the midfield today. His touching, his passing just wasn't really quite there. Next to him, Norwood, I've gone for a 5. Thought Norwood had a pretty good game, to be honest. I thought going forwards, if we were going to create, it was likely to come from him. Although, again, he does throw in a stinker of a set piece every now and again, which is frustrating. In front of him, Ndiaye, I've gone for a 2. Thought Ndiaye was really poor today. I think it's a game for him to forget. Just couldn't get involved in the game. His touch wasn't there. His passing wasn't there. A bad day at the office. In front of him, McBurney and Sharp. Well, I'll preface everything I say next by just saying they didn't have the service. You know, the rest of the team really weren't combining to get up to them. However, McBurney, I've gone for a 3 because he just doesn't do enough wider than that to get himself involved in the game today. Physically, it's not really one for him up against Jake Cooper. Is it one for anybody? Probably not. But I think we would look for a little bit more from him just to get involved in the game a bit more on days like today. Sharp, I've also gone for a 3 for similar reasons. What he's normally good at is winning free kicks, he's holding the ball. He just couldn't do that today and it didn't work at all. Looking at our subs, Gibbs-White, I've gone for a 4. Thought when he came on, his touches and his tricks just weren't quite coming off. He almost got a great chance, but just couldn't quite get there. But I'll not mark him down for that. 𝐍𝐸𝐽𝐉, when he came on, I've gone for a 6. Thought he was our best player today. I thought if we were going to create, if we were getting back in the game at that late stage, it was all coming from him. And I really think that his recent form is so encouraging, so encouraging. Fleck wasn't really on the pitch long enough to really make an impact. And for 𝐍𝐸𝐽𝐉, I've gone for a 5. You know, I think with the fitness, with the amount of games we've played, you have to expect a disjointed performance like we had today. I think the changes he made make sense. And although they've not come off, it's hard to really hold it against him. Overall, though, we're on a great run still. You know, this is one setback, but I think we'll be back on it from Friday. A little bit of a rest. We've got one to look forward to.
Oh, thanks, Ollie. Yeah, Pommpey here, live from my studio, garage, preparing for next month's gigs up in Sheffield with my band Hard Drive. Anyway, today's game, positives and negatives. Goodness me, the only positive I can really mention from today's game was really the debuting of Kyron Gordon. I thought he looked quite accomplished. I think he looks a prospect for the future. Certainly fitted well into an established back three, and it was good to see him, giving his all when really a young player such as that would have been would have shown some weaknesses. But negatives, there were quite a few negatives today, and I know we lost today. But it goes to show really that, you know, if you bring certain players into particular positions to give other players a rest, how we tend to regress and go back to a style of football which is quite negative in itself. And we didn't really press Millwall for what they were. They were there for the taking. We got McBurney in, who didn't really put himself about enough, didn't get the chances on the ball. Hurrihan, to me, wasn't at the game itself, didn't really give us a great deal more than Fleck would have done. Of course, when we brought players like Morgan Gibbs-White on and 𝐍𝐸𝐽𝐉, and we brought Fleck on as well, we looked a bit more capable, but it was too late by then. We were just beaten against a brick wall. You know, Millwall had gone back into their penalty area and were just defending their way and managing us out of the game. So it's a bit disappointing really to come off that beautiful run of results we've got, to come back down to earth and to give up 3 points like we have. We're out of the playoffs now, and we've got 2 very, very important games to come now, and 6 points to get ourselves back in the challenge. It's hope now that we can pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off and not make these mistakes again and go back into this negative sort of style of play where basically we're just knocking it around the pitch and not really progressing up and threatening goal. Because Billy and McBurney really never had a chance on goal today. The only real clear-cut chances were the likes of Morgan Gibbs-White and Egan's header, which was straight at the keeper. Anyway, up the blades, onwards and upwards for Friday and Tuesday, and let's see what we can rescue out of this and continue on towards success, we hope. All the best. Up the blades.